So as Archie and Josh and I were planning this meeting, we realized that two of our local area colleagues, who were both amazing people as well as very gifted and well-known scholars, had died much too young, um, around my age. So uh, Robert D. Miller II was 57, and Gay Byron was just a few years older than that. So they both died at kind of the point at which they should really have been enjoying their careers and their newfound senior status. And it feels like we've all been robbed of their presence and they've been robbed of ours. I'm sorry that the fan is so awfully loud, but what we thought we'd do, I just wrote 500 words on each of them. And we thought, after I offered some general remarks, if anyone knew either one or had a memory or a thought to share, that it would be great to open it up. And that would include people online as well. So I thought we would start then with Robert D. Miller II, who died on November 22nd, 2023 at the age of 57. I've been asked to speak a few words in remembrance of a remarkable scholar and friend, Dr. Robert D. Miller II, whom many of us affectionately knew as Bob. As we navigate through the sorrow of losing such a vibrant spirit, it is our privilege to celebrate his extraordinary life and the indelible legacy he leaves behind. Bob's journey began on August 21st, 1966 in Apple Creek, Ohio, where the seeds of his profound love of learning, teaching, and music were sown. His journey took him from the halls of Kent State University, where not only did he earn his BA, but he also met the love of his life, Anne Marie Duffy. And then on to the rigorous academic environs of the University of Michigan, where he honed his expertise in biblical and Near Eastern studies. In his illustrious career spanning several decades, Bob dedicated himself to the pursuit of understanding the Hebrew Bible, the Old Testament, and the ancient world that cradled it. His professorial odyssey carried him from West Virginia University to Mount St. Mary's Seminary, and finally to the Catholic University of America. Here, in our area, he rose to become an ordinary professor of theology and the department chair, a testament to his excellence as a scholar, a teacher, and an administrator. Bob was a member of the Board of Trustees of what used to be called the American Schools of Oriental Research, ASOR, and he served as chair of the Board of Control of the New American Bible. I first met Bob about 25 years ago at regional CBAs like this one, right here in the DC area. I think my first memory was arguing with him over a talk he gave on a psalm. I was surprised to learn afterwards, after our exchange, that we would become pretty close friends over the years. I do remember the conference that our plenary speaker, Thea, and Bob organized together up in Emmitsburg, Maryland. And we were reminiscing about it earlier. We believe it had something to do with theology and the Bible, which is one of Bob's major interests. I think it may have been at that first meeting, Thea, that I first met you. I'm not sure, but must have been about 25 or 30 years ago. Bob visited this campus, VTS, on many occasions during his period teaching at the Catholic University of America. He would come to talk with one of my seminars on one of his books that he had just written, or he would come to find a book in our library. The Semitics department at Catholic U, and their library is immense. However, our library actually has the books, whereas many of theirs have been stolen by students. Um, he one of the books that he came to talk about, which was really a very thorough study, was his discussion of the divine warrior's defeat of the chaos dragon. And he traced that through many different cultures and milieus. Really did a very thorough study of that. He was part of a faculty research seminar that enjoyed dinner meetings here at the seminary. And after dinner, we would have some drinks and discuss drafts of whatever book was being written. I happened to be working on Deuteronomy, and I remember Bob making several really cogent and helpful remarks that helped me in the writing of that Deuteronomy commentary. At another point, he responded. He was the major respondent to a book on Isaiah that I wrote at a book party here at the seminary. So it was those kinds of occasions. One particular memory that I have of Bob is his active participation in a kind of a summit of top selected biblical scholars from around the country we convened here at the seminary and paid for. It was really an international conference, and it was really over discussing what we could do, if anything, about the ongoing contraction of biblical studies and professional teaching of the Bible in this country, which is an ongoing threat, I think, along with the threat to the humanities in general. On all these occasions, Bob was invariably supportive and a good, strong friend and a calming presence and a powerful thinker, and often very enlightening when people couldn't see their way through a seeming clash. Bob was a beacon of knowledge, illuminating the minds of those eager to learn about the history, literature, religion, and archaeology of ancient Israel. His scholarly contributions, encompassing 11 books and numerous research papers and presentations, I think stand as an invaluable resource in our field, biblical studies. However, it was not just Bob's intellect that touched our lives, but his passion for teaching. He was recognized by his peers and his students alike, and he was honored with the 2023 Teacher of the Year Award from the School of Theology and the Religious Studies Students Association at Catholic U. This accolade was a mere reflection of the profound impact he had on the lives he touched, guiding his students with wisdom, compassion, and an unwavering belief in their potential. Bob's talents were not confined to academia alone. His lifelong passion for music saw him forming the band Sirocco, which he started really in college with his friend Jonathan Friedman. And through their music, they explored and expressed a myriad of stories and emotions, leaving a legacy that continues to resonate with those fortunate enough to experience their artistry. So as we remember Bob today, we celebrate the multifaceted individual that he was: a devoted husband, a loving father, a respected scholar, an inspiring teacher, and a passionate musician. His contributions to the academic world, his impact on his students, and his creative pursuits in music have left an indelible mark. May his legacy inspire us to pursue our passions with the same zeal and dedication that he exemplified. I may not be the best person here to have delivered those remarks, but I was the only one seemingly available, and I would love to hear, even if you weren't close to him, we would love anyone to share thoughts, experiences, reminiscences of any sort. And I can share the microphone. I have another. Oops, I may have clicked it. Sorry.
Would everyone like to share some thoughts about Bob? Just one, in his last years, Bob withdrew many books from his own library and left them on the book bench on the 4th floor of Caldwell Hall. And I am the recipient of many that I found there. And just with amusement, as I looked through everything in his notes in the comments, that he was clear he had read these and he had an active dialogue with the book and all, and frequent comment with exclamation points was nonsense. uh, just and I just very much enjoyed that, and I'm very much appreciative that he was determined to pass on part of his books and part and all.
Thank you so much for those remarks, Stephen. It's really beautiful to hear that reflection and memorial. I especially got to know the Millers in Emmitsburg, which is my hometown. And so before Bob came to Catholic U, he was, as Steve mentioned, at Mount St. Mary's Seminary. My dad was in the theology department there, and my mom was the campus doctor. And so Anne Marie had joined the board of a nonprofit medical clinic that my mom founded, and they worked together very closely. And so whenever I would visit at home and we would go to church on Sunday at St. Anthony's in Emmitsburg, the Millers would be there. We would get together after church. And so even more than Bob's scholarship and, interacting kind of intellectually at CBA, that's what I remember, is that time with his family in Emmitsburg. But also as a colleague, as a fellow scholar, Bob was so generous with his time, with his insight, and I just really feel we've experienced a tremendous loss as a guild to lose Bob Miller. I also think about the incredible kind of calm strength that he exhibited in his struggle with cancer. And I remember the song, the Chumbawamba song Tub Thumping was sort of his cancer anthem. If people don't know that song, it's like, I get knocked down, but I get up again. And I just loved that, like what a gift his spirit and his, the way he was able to fight without, surely there was bitterness in his heart, but without projecting that out into the world. So just a really beautiful person. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Thea. It's lovely. Thank you, my friends. Let me go ahead then and also say a few words about Gay Byron, and then we can proceed back to the conference. Again, I'm sorry about the blowers. I don't know why they're blowing so loudly. In the pantheon of biblical scholars, few stars have shone with as much transformative power as the late Reverend Dr. Gay L. Byron. Her departure from our world in 2023 at the age of 62 leaves a void in the hearts of those who knew her, admired her work, and were inspired by her unwavering dedication to illuminating the complexities of New Testament and early Christianity. As a distinguished professor at Howard University School of Divinity, Gay Byron's scholarship navigated the intricate intersections of race, ethnicity, liberation, and womanist interpretations, making an indelible mark on her students, on academia, and even beyond. With a BS from Florida State University, an MBA from Clark Atlanta University, and an MDiv and PhD from Union Theological Seminary in New York City, Gay's academic pursuits were grounded in a profound desire to explore and expound upon the foundations of faith, identity, and historical context. It was during her formative years at Union Seminary in New York, where I was beginning my own career as a very young assistant professor, that Gay's passion for her field began to visibly ignite, and that we all were able to see, distinguishing her as a force to be reckoned with, a fireball. Gay's groundbreaking work, particularly her exploration of the Pauline epistles, the role of race and ethnicity in early Christian writings, and the origins of Christianity in ancient Ethiopia set new precedents in theological scholarship. Her contributions to understanding ancient Ethiopic Ge'ez sources for the New Testament and early Christian writings earned her numerous fellowships and accolades. Among her notable publications, it is the symbolic Blackness and ethnic difference in early Christian literature that stands most clearly as a testament to her innovative approach to examining how early Christian narratives employed the concept of Blackness not just as a symbol for transcending, they employed the concept of Blackness as a symbol far transcending mere color, uncovering layers of meaning and community identity. Beyond her publications, Gay was a vanguard of the academic community, serving on the editorial board of the Journal of Biblical Literature and is co-editor for the series on womanist interpretations of Scripture. Her project, The Invisible Lives of Ethiopic Manuscripts, which she undertook as a Humanities Unbounded visiting faculty fellow, showcased her dedication to bringing to light the rich history of Ethiopic Christianity. In addition to her scholarly achievements, Gay's service as Associate Dean for Academic Affairs at Howard School of Divinity and her work addressing the economic challenges facing future ministers highlighted her commitment to the practical aspects of ministry and problems in contemporary theological education. Her ordained ministry within the Presbyterian Church USA further exemplified her devotion to serving the spiritual needs of people around her. Gay's teaching and administration had a profound effect on her students, colleagues, and the many lives she touched through her ministry and leadership. Her journey from a vibrant doctoral student to a revered scholar and mentor underscores the deep loss felt by both the Academy and the Church. As we reflect on her remarkable life and contributions, we find solace in the knowledge that her legacy will continue to inspire and influence future generations. Dr. Gay L. Byron, a beacon of intellectual rigor, compassionate ministry, and an unwavering commitment to justice and understanding, will be profoundly missed, but her work and spirit will forever remain a guiding light in the exploration of faith, identity, and liberation. Again, anyone's life intersected with Gay's or have any reflection or reminiscence to share, I'd love to hear them.
May I give you this?
I knew Gay in New York City, and she had a beautiful smile and she had a beautiful radiance about her. And we would often meet together in the laundry room because that's where we all the faculty and students did their laundry together. And I remember her very fondly. And I also realized that she worked as a minister in the Presbyterian denomination. And I was working at the time part-time for the Presbyterian of New York City. So we interacted a little bit about that and about her trips and travels. And she was just a fun person to know. And I loved her very much.
Thank you, Catherine.
I love hearing that, like from the early part of her career. And I only met Gay a few years ago. She was at Duke working with our manuscript migration lab on her project on the Ethiopian manuscripts. And also gave a handful of lectures while she was there. And we would meet up to walk on some of the trails at Duke. And she's also an avid runner. I was really shocked when the news of her death and her aneurysm was shared, because she was in incredible shape. She was so energetic, and I like a word that comes to my mind, which is very much in line with your description, is spunky and and just also fierce and so deeply curious. And she was so energized about her work on these manuscripts. And I just think it's an incredible loss to us that work was interrupted in that way. And I'm hoping that some of her students and colleagues will take that up as they continue to carry her memory forward.
Thank you so much, Thea. Well, thank you for this. It is not necessarily a standard part of a scholarly meeting, but I think it's very appropriate that we took time for these two very remarkable individuals. Thank you.